Can we expect an outrageous markup for the new Toyota Tacoma? And would you pay it? Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to RobMotive. So the big question is, can we expect an outrageous markup, a market adjustment for the upcoming redesigned new Toyota Tacoma? Real quick, before we get into that, make sure you smash that subscribe button and click that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. So let's talk about it. You know, we have these outrageous market adjustments, these markups on the new Toyota Tundra. They still exist today. I just spoke with someone this morning and they told me that they went by a dealership. There was a brand new shiny Toyota Tacoma sitting on the lot, and it had a markup, an outrageous markup, $10,000 for the opportunity to own a brand new Toyota Tacoma. So can we expect an outrageous markup on the new Tacoma? Well, first of all, I say absolutely yes. There's no way that you're not going to walk into a dealership, assuming there are actually any new Tacomas on the lot, and not see this, some sort of a note, usually it's typed up along the side, but some sort of a note that says dealer markup, or aftermarket adjustment, something like that. I've even seen them called a shortage adjustment. I mean, it's crazy. Why? Well, obviously, because they'll be in short supply, just like the Tundra was when it came out. You're going to have a hard time finding the new Tacoma. They're just not going to be on the lots. My guess is the dealers have learned something here. You see, they don't have to stock a bunch of vehicles. They can just allocate them, bring them in, and sell them before they're even on the lot. Collect a little bit of a deposit, earn a little bit of interest before that truck ever comes in. So we are going to see it on the new Toyota Tacoma. I think as far as how much, that's the big question. And dealers kind of have to figure out what we're willing to pay. And it probably depends on what area you're in. But I think you're going to see anywhere on the new Tacoma from probably a couple of grand, $2,000, upwards of $10,000. A $10,000 markup, as outrageous as it is, seems to be the going number. It's what I hear the most out there when you're talking about outrageous markups on trucks. So we are going to see it on the Tacoma. How do you get around it? There are ways to get around it. They're maybe not as pleasant as just going into the lot and buying that new Tacoma, but you can go for something in allocation. In other words, like I mentioned earlier, the dealership, they get a certain number of trucks every month, every cycle, whatever it is, that they can sell before they're ever on the lot. Now, those are the ones that you can purchase without the outrageous markup for somewhere right around MSRP. Now, it doesn't mean that they aren't still going to have some kind of an inflationary amount added, most likely in the form of accessories. That's another way that I found that dealers are doing this. You see, you can get one that's allocated, but they've gone ahead and added things to it, typically installed at the port where they first come in, the port meaning the distribution center. They can go ahead and have things installed on the truck. And typically the markup for those is about 100%, sometimes more, maybe a couple 100%. So they're gonna make more money. It's not typically in the form of a markup, but it is marking up the truck in the form of added accessories at higher costs. So when you're out there looking, you really need to pay attention. If you're trying to snag one of these allocated trucks, you need to pay attention to what the dealership has added and make sure that you ask that question and that you know that before you commit that deposit to try to avoid that outrageous markup. Make sure that you ask, what is being added to this truck? What aftermarket parts or after manufacturer parts, probably a better way to put it, are you adding to that truck? And I would bet you in most cases, there will be a few things that are added on. And that's the surprise you get when the truck actually comes in, you see, because you agreed to buy the truck at MSRP. Now they've gone and added these extra things to it, and they'll justify it when the truck comes in because they know they're going to be able to sell it to somebody else. Demand right now is so high that there are many people that will be willing to pay an outrageous markup on the new Tacoma with these added things. So best to make sure that you know beforehand, and you can add these things yourself for a much cheaper price afterwards. You know, one thing I'm interested in with the new Tacoma is, are there still going to be bolt-on type parts? You know, I think if I was a factory or a manufacturer, I would make it a little more difficult to add things on afterwards so that the typical garage mechanic can't bring it home, buy the parts for a heck of a lot less money and do it themselves. Because that's how it is with the Toyota Tacoma right now. And it's one of the best things about the Tacoma if you're into modding and adding things to it. There are so many things out there that you can do yourself really pretty easily and without a whole lot of mechanical skill, that you don't have to take it somewhere else and have it done. I think if I was a manufacturer, I'd make it a little more difficult so that you had to buy their parts and have their people put them on. And maybe there are some that do that. Maybe that's why some of the other trucks out there are a bit more difficult to add things to. You know, I recently did a mod on my new Ram. It was a heck of a lot more difficult just to do a simple thing. I'll give you an example. Taking the grill off of that truck was a whole process. You had to kind of remove the fenders on the sides. You had to take a bunch of stuff off the top to get the bolts to finally pull that grill off. Not something that most people are probably willing to try. I'm a bit hesitant myself, and I've taken numerous grills off of trucks, both the Toyota Tacoma and the Toyota Tundra. So beware. I guess that's my point. If you're buying something out of allocation, just beware that they're not adding things to maintain those outrageous markups that they're going to get you for once that truck comes in. Anyway, leave a comment. Let me know. I'm curious. Are you guys still seeing outrageous markups out there, particularly on the new Toyota Tacomas? I'd be curious to know. Also, real quick, I do have 2 additional channels. RobMotive JT, all about my 2020 Jeep Gladiator and some Jeep Mojave stuff thrown in there. And RobMotive FST, all about my new 2022 Ram 1500. Check them out, and if you're interested, please consider subscribing. Again, if you didn't in the beginning, make sure you smash that subscribe button and click that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.